Welcome to the best American heavy tank in World of Tanks console. It is the T-54E2 and quite possibly the best American premium at tier 8 that you can actually get within the game. It is a 3-shot autoloader that also has the ability to pick between a single shotgun and this autoloader that you can see here. You can't swap in game, so don't go thinking that you can swap between the autoloader or the single shot actually within the game itself. However, what this tank does feature is of course 360 alpha damage per shot, which means that you've got 1080 total damage that you can deal within one singular clip, which means that you pretty much can take out like 75% of the hit points of any tank that you're coming up against that is the similar sort of tier. Well, at least 75% of any medium tanks, any light tanks, any tank destroyers that you're coming up against. Heavy tanks, not so much, because you're probably taking away about 2/3 of their hit points, but still the fact that you can basically, once you've reloaded one time, you can take out all of the hit points of an enemy vehicle makes it so incredibly great to play, and it means that you can be super deadly when playing in this thing. And this is what this replay is showing you. It's a super quick one actually, this replay, and actually a subscriber or someone that obviously knows me must have decided to join up within the platoon, and we ended up playing I think 2 games within the tank, and of course he is also using the T-54E2. We weren't playing actually with voices or anything like that, so you're not going to be able to hear anything like that. But what you could get from this is actually some really good gameplay overall, and in general you can see when one of us needs a little bit of help, the other's helping out, which is always good. And when you can get that going in World of Tanks, that doesn't always happen. Yeah, it can be really fun to play. And you can see here, unfortunately, we do take an artillery hit, because even on the worst artillery map in the game, Himmelsdorf, artillery still can manage to get you. Hopefully with the buffs or the nerfs that they're going to be getting with Artillery Update 2.0, which you can see at the end of this video. I'll link that video which covers kind of the things that wargaming could do to artillery. But yeah, you can see that definitely we won't be seeing as many hits, at least fingers crossed, within this game anymore. Now, within this game, 2040 damage, really quick to get. That's two full clips into an opponent, and with this tank you can be very selective as to the opponents that you are going to come up against, because ultimately you don't want to be coming up against tanks that are going to be out to basically outtrade you when you're on your reload. You don't want to overcommit in this tank, and unfortunately for the Atomic, on the kind of flip side, opponents won't want to overcommit against you, and you can see here what happens when they do. And when another one comes in, yeah, we could basically pick him up and help out our platoon mate there, which is always good. Now obviously in this game, T-34-100, oh, mistakes were made. Now we pick him up with a ram kill, and now we've got, what, 6 opponents left on the enemy team, which hopefully we can kind of bring the win out. We still have 2/3 of our hit points, which is always really good. Hopefully we can track this Tiger 2, which we do manage to do, and this is where the T-54E2 with the autoloader, which is definitely the version I would pick if I was going to suggest which version to pick, is why it's so strong within the game. Now what you'll notice here, the GW Panther tried to do us a little dirty there, coming up from behind and firing around into the platoon mate there, but unfortunately for the GW Panther, we aren't complete bots, and now we're just going to come and take him out within the game, obviously pushing him up so he couldn't then turn towards us in the event that he does manage to kind of push us out the way and then get a shot into us, or maybe we bounce or some silly reason like that. But yes, pretty decent clip there. Obviously got one shot off there, picking up the kill. Maybe we'll be able to find the enemy artillery and maybe even the light tank as well. So the ultimate aim within this tank is to win, and ultimately that is what this tank is fantastic at. And you'll be noting that if you've ever seen any videos on World of Tanks PC, the Renegade is an amazing premium tank, and maybe I'll link a video that you can watch at the end of this one which showcases just how good the Renegade can be. And here, 3 shots in a clip, 3 enemies taken out in quick succession, and this is where the Renegade is just amazing, especially on these town maps where you can poke around a corner, you can launch in all 3 shells, deal your 1080 damage, and then hightail it out of there. And you can see here 6 kills, 4635 damage, 1833 XP, which is amazing. And before you kind of leave, it was a 4-minute and 49-second battle, and we managed to earn 177,000 silver. Obviously a decent amount of rewards. Let's jump into the next replay. The next replay that we are featuring here on the channel is of course on Heilbronn, and this is a map that, you know, I can see a lot of people struggling to perform admirably on, because in some regards it is a fairly difficult map to master. You know, you can have an okay game on Heilbronn pretty easily, but it's quite hard to make the right decision to then progress you into those amazing results. And yeah, I'm not going to say I'm a master of Heilbronn, because, you know, it is a very difficult map, and it's probably one of the maps that I struggle with the most in terms of being able to be competitive with all tank classes, because yes, you could be really good with a heavy tank using it with gun depression, but if you're playing a heavy tank that doesn't have gun depression, you're playing Heilbronn, I don't really know which way is the best to go. And so if any of you have any comments on that, then maybe let me know, because the town, albeit yes, heavy tanks might should go there, I don't even know, the town area tends to be where there's not that much damage to actually rack up within the game, so it becomes a little bit painful. You can see here it is a tier 10 game, which is obviously what you don't want in when you're playing in the Renegade or the T54E2, as it's known on console anyway. But if what we can do with this tank is still be a nuisance to even tanks like the Object 279E, which of course is it's a devastating tank to come up against in probably 9 times out of 10, and that's why we've loaded the premium. Now, am I going to say that you should only fire premium in tier 10 games? No. But what you see me doing here is getting into a nice position where we can put 1 round into the Object 279, and we'll put another one in there, and managing to ammo rack the Object 279E, which is it's like overwhelmingly exciting, because it feels like pure karma, because the Object 279E is definitely a tank that was super kind of overpowered on the PC version of the game, so if you've ever played that, but if you've played World of Tanks console, you'll know that it can still be very annoying to come up against. The armour of the tank is just super good, and so yeah, it can be very difficult. What you see me doing here is just getting in opportunistic shots against opponents that we can. Obviously the Object 140 there, pushing up, and we'll just take the reload because there's no point in waiting around, because ultimately we could get all of our clips of damage, and I don't want to overexpose myself, because that's one thing that you'll note on Heilbronn, is that if you overexpose yourself by going right over the ridgeline, it can be catastrophic, and you'll get taken out by a lot of the tank destroyers that kind of camp the ridges. Now, in this sort of position where we're using the rock to the side, we can get shots into things like the T95 there, and of course the E75, who's kind of pushed up. We've got 1 shot left, the IS4 moving up, and we'll put the final shot. And if you can connect all 3 shots with the Renegade or the T54E2, you can really make a big impact, even in these games where you are in a tier 10 game. With such a tank, you can also be a real nuisance, because the view range of the tank, considering it's a heavy, it has 510 meters view range. That's with all of the boosts and stuff that you can put in the game. So yeah, bearing in mind that this is a heavy tank, 510 meters of view range is amazing, which means that you can get assistance damage fairly reliably if you put yourself in a position like you're seeing here, where we're up against the IS4, and just being able to just produce vision around the entire map. And that's why I really love playing the Renegade or the T54E2. Obviously it came out for free, and I would expect that maybe it will come out for free again as part of a monthly earn challenge. I cannot guarantee it, so if you are interested in picking it up, I believe it was part of a bundle recently, hence why I was able to actually get my hands on it. It was a gift within the game from Fat Little Bernie, which was nice of him to be able to kind of gift that to me and to be able to review, which is always good. And obviously, yeah, big thank you to Bernie there. But yeah, a fantastic result again. 3,800 damage in a tier 8 heavy tank in a tier 10 game, managing to ammo rack an Object 279E and getting that karma back on the Object 279E felt really, really nice. And of course, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to like the video, and of course check out some of the PC version of the tank on screen right now, and also check out what the new update news is for next week on World of Tanks as the recording of this video. Goodbye.